Have you ever pondered the portrayal of biblical figures like Jesus or the Virgin Mary with darker skin tones? Perhaps you've questioned why traditional depictions often portray them with fair complexions. Well, prepare to have your curiosity piqued as we delve into a remarkable revelation from the vaults of Russia. These biblical icons featuring darker-skinned figures challenge established narratives and illuminate hidden truths within religious art. You're about to hear it today just like it is in this video, so listen carefully, great people. Before we continue, we kindly ask you to hit that like button to support our work and our mission of spreading our enlightening Black narrative. Share our content with your families and friends to help amplify our message. Don't forget to subscribe to stay tuned for more updates and to contribute to the growth of our channel's Black community. We truly appreciate your support. The first and foremost thing to discuss is the person known by the most popular name in the world today, Jesus. Mark 4:22 states that there is nothing hidden that will not be revealed, nor anything kept secret that would not be discovered for centuries. Despite centuries of depicting Jesus as a fair-skinned European, historical evidence suggests otherwise. The Gospels offer scarce physical descriptions, leaving Jesus' appearance largely ambiguous. Yet emerging insights point to a more accurate representation, a Jewish man with brown skin, reflecting his Middle Eastern heritage. This departure from traditional portrayals prompts us to reconsider the authenticity of biblical imagery. Little information about Christ's physical characteristics can be found in the Bible, but the majority of what is known about him comes from the first 4 books of the New Testament, the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. According to the Gospels, Jesus was a Jewish man who was born in Bethlehem and raised in the town of Nazareth in Galilee, which was once Palestine and is now northern Israel. The Bible tells us that Jesus was around 30 years old when he started his ministry, as stated in Luke 3:23. However, the Bible doesn't reveal anything about Christ's appearance other than the fact that he didn't stand out in any particular way. It's possible that the historical Jesus shared the brown eyes and skin tone of other first-century Jews. Although the Old Testament kings Saul and David are explicitly described as tall and handsome in the Bible, there are no known images of Jesus from his lifetime. Furthermore, when Jesus was arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane prior to the crucifixion, Judas Iscariot had to identify Jesus with his soldiers among the disciples, presumably because they all looked alike. Jesus is thought to have originated in Galilee in biblical Israel, but considering these events, one is forced to wonder if the writers of the excellent book of the Gospel intentionally omitted these passages from the Bible in order to conceal certain obvious truths, or if they did not address these issues. The Bible's words themselves did not hint at the reasons behind their similarities, whether they were white or black, or why or how they looked too similar. However, the portrayal of Jesus as a white European man has come under renewed scrutiny during this period of introspection over the legacy of racism in society and over the actuality of truth. One of the major factors in this renewed scrutiny happens to come with the buzzing news concerning certain storming revelations from Russia. For some time now, the recentness of this event has got everyone talking in wonderment.
As the Ukraine-Russia war drags on, Russian President Vladimir Putin has decided to move one of Russia's holiest icons from a museum to a Moscow Cathedral. This arises a debate around Putin's growing reliance on the church.
The relocation of Russia's most well-known icon highlights how closely the war has intertwined politics and religion. Trinity is a 15th century artwork which is all set to take its place in the Cathedral of Christ the Savior.
Black icons. It has the history of black people in places like Russia and Italy, in places all over Europe. This book can range from $1,300 to $3,000, so it's not an easy book to get. I actually borrowed this book from a friend, but this book has a lot of interesting depictions in it. A lot of them pertaining to the Bible. Like right here, this is the Transfiguration of Christ, and you see it's black people in caves, I believe, what it looks like. It's black people in the whole picture. Look, this is knowledge that escapes black people here in America. It's definitely something that we would never see or never hear about in the educational system. Now, I'm pretty sure there's people that are black history college students majoring in black history or world history, and they've never seen nothing like this before. At least not from the standpoint of Europe, you know. This is the crucifixion of Christ, and in it we see angels, black angels. The people surrounding him are black. It's very interesting because the images that we see are contrary to what we have known our whole lives, or what we have been taught our whole lives. You know, like I'll say it again, like these type of images of antiquity escape black people here in America, and I can say all people, for in general, just people in general don't know. I'm pretty sure there's plenty of Caucasian people and people of all nationalities that don't know the extent that black people covered the earth.
Have you noticed anything about these icons on display? They are all black icons from the 14th century, gathered from private collections all around Russia. These are extremely rare and demanding works of art, most of which were destroyed during the Soviet expropriation. The icons that you see are the remnants of what remained. If the museums hadn't preserved them, they wouldn't still be around today. There were once millions of these icons, but currently only 50,000 of them are visible. Their discovery serves as a potent testament to the persistence of truth, and the veracity of these paintings forces us to reconsider how we understand the past, especially in relation to the presence and portrayal of black figures. For centuries, these figures may have been shrouded in obscurity, but their rediscovery sheds light on previously untold stories, standing as a challenge to long-held assumptions and prompting us to rewrite history with a more inclusive lens. Many Russian icons were destroyed or sold abroad by agents of the Soviet government. Some were hidden to avoid destruction or were smuggled out of the country since the fall of communism. Icon painting studios have again opened and are painting in a variety of styles for the local and international markets. Many older hidden icons have also been retrieved from hiding or brought back from overseas.
Welcome back. A minor theft might have turned into a major religious discovery. A missing artifact was found in the closet of a Tennessee motorhome. Volunteer TV's John Trainer talked with the owner of a rare painting who didn't know what he had. John?
Yeah, Alan, it makes you wonder what you might have in your house. In this case, it was an authentic 19th century painting of the Veil of Veronica. It's like a story ripped from a Hollywood screenplay. A small road in the mountains of Tennessee, a living room in a motorhome, and a 150-year-old painting blessed by Pope Leo XIII. This is the true face of Jesus Christ, one of a handful of paintings based on the cloth used to wipe Jesus' face before his crucifixion, known as the Veil of Veronica. Its owner, a 73-year-old man who didn't want to be identified and had no idea what he had.
I've lived here for about 17 years. It's been in there, either in there or in my bedroom. Ever since.
So how does a holy relic go from the holy city to Monroe County? Well, the man known as Frosty tells us he got it as a present and hung it on his wall 20 years ago, but 3 years later it found a home in this cloth bank bag and was thrown in his closet.
You know, at first, obviously, it was a big surprise for us that something like this might even be in East Tennessee. Normally you'd expect to find something like this in a museum or maybe in Rome, in the Vatican.
The painting is now under lock and key in a secret location. Gormley is in prison for theft, and Frosty is overwhelmed that a treasure was laying hidden in his home.
The unveiling of black icons in Russia reverberates far beyond its borders, sparking conversations about the representation of race and ethnicity in religious imagery worldwide. Scholars, activists, and religious leaders have weighed in on the significance of this discovery, leading to heated debates and controversies. Calls for a more inclusive portrayal of biblical figures have gained momentum, challenging entrenched notions of white supremacy in religious iconography. There's been so much debate going on around the world of late, beset by the unveiling of these black biblical icons. Some tend to think that the icons have blackened over time due to age, while others say that the blackness of the icons has nothing to do with age, but is a measure of accuracy meant to depict the actual color of the skins of the people painted. According to Robert Rubin, because they were black people, why didn't their clothes change to black in those paintings, or in all of the paintings? The true Israelis were black-skinned people, not white. Likewise, the ancient Egyptians. The red structure in Mauritania is also the location of Atlantis. Once Titus destroyed the Jewish nation, millions of Jews fled into Africa, arriving in the west of Africa, from where they were sold as slaves to almost every country in the world. The Russians, however, did not alter their paintings as other nations did. Instead, they simply kept the authentic paintings and iconography. Check out ancient maps to see where the kingdom of Judah was later located. Do you think the hatred towards black people is just a coincidence or a normal occurrence? No, it was caused by the Israelites disobeying God's commands. As we can see in the Bible book of Deuteronomy, God warned the Israelites that if they disobeyed him, they would lose that land to people they did not know. The primary focus of this anger is actually the offspring of Shem, who are being punished for his disobedience to God. The animosity is directed against the black children of Ham and Shem, since the children of Shem have mixed up with the children of Ham, and they are both black-skinned. Another insightful one from Johnson here says that because black people were the people in the Bible, the Americans turned white when they told the stories to us. But Russians didn't get the memo. They went off for the real history songs of Solomon 1:5 in Revelations 1:15. Go check it out. It's in the text. It's not because of a candle or anything else these people are talking about. In that case, the whole picture would be black, not just the face and the hands. They are meant to be black because they were black people. This great USA is also a great deceiver, and so many people inherit the wrong lesson from their great-grandparents and their parents, to the point where it's so deep that the lie is made true when the real answer is really just right there. But you never look because why would you? The Russian unveilings didn't stop there. Russia continues with its biblical historical revelations, with President Putin at the forefront, championing the course Russia has opened its cells to reveal remarkable paintings of Jesus dating back to the 1400s. The images of Jesus and other historical figures in Russia's black icons challenge the commonly known perception of antiquity and reveal the extent of black people's presence and influence throughout history. Paintings from the 1500s and 1600s depict black icons, including Jesus and Mary, in a highly sought-after book that explores the history of black people in Russia, Italy, and other parts of Europe. The book contains interesting depictions of black people in biblical scenes, which is knowledge that is not taught in the American educational system. However, debates concerning the authenticity of these icons go on. Moving forward, as Russia continues to astonish the world with these revelations, the relentless pursuit of truth shines through the shadows of history. Not long ago, protesters called for the removal of Confederate statues in the U.S. House. Activist Shaun King took it a step further, advocating for the removal of murals and artwork portraying a white Jesus. His concerns about the depiction of Christ and its reinforcement of white supremacy are echoed by prominent scholars and even the Archbishop of Canterbury. Recently, on June 22, 2020, writer and activist Shaun King voiced his support for the destruction of statues depicting a white Jesus. King emphasized that historians believe Jesus likely resembled the people of the Middle East, rather than the white man often portrayed in Christian iconography. Yes, I think the statues of the white Europeans they claim are Jesus should also come down. King tweeted that they are a form of white supremacy that has always been in the Bible. When the family of Jesus wanted to hide and blend in, guess where they went? Egypt, not Denmark, he added. Tear them down. The remark swiftly garnered criticism from several prominent conservative figures on the platform. King clarified that he was advocating for the removal of statues depicting a white Jesus in response to a tweet from PragerU, a nonprofit co-founded by conservative talk show host Dennis Prager. He also argued that stained glass windows and other depictions of a white Jesus, his white mother, and their white companions should be destroyed, labeling them as racist propaganda and a blatant form of white supremacy. King shared an image of a darker-skinned Jesus featured in a 2002 Popular Mechanics article, which scholars believe to be more accurate than traditional European depictions. He emphasized that this image would have been unacceptable for white Americans who profited from slavery, as it challenges the narrative they've upheld for centuries. On June 23, 2020, the day after expressing his support for the removal of all white statues depicting Jesus, King continued to advocate for racial equality and historical accuracy. In response to a tweet by Jenna Ellis, a lawyer representing President Donald Trump, where she warned against attempts to cancel Christianity, it's unclear if that was a direct response to King's tweet. However, King retaliated by suggesting that what Ellis was actually defending was her whiteness. He argued that Christian whiteness hinges on the portrayal of a white Jesus, making the attack on this image a challenge to her faith. As statues and monuments paying homage to the Confederacy have been targeted primarily, others representing figures from early American history have also been taken down amid ongoing protests against racial injustice and police brutality since 2020. This movement has gained momentum not only in the US, but also in the UK and Europe, stirring a debate among the public. While some criticize it as mob rule, others see it as a necessary step towards addressing systemic racism. Speaking to the BBC Today program, Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury and head of the Church of England, suggested that the Church should re-evaluate its depiction of Jesus as a white man. When asked if the way the Western Church depicts Jesus needed to be reconsidered and reimagined, Welby responded, "Yes, of course it does." He also mentioned that there are other countries where Jesus is portrayed differently. Welby said that he was in regular contact with Anglican church leaders from around the globe, and they did not portray Jesus as white. Instead, they see a black Jesus, a Chinese Jesus, or a Middle Eastern Jesus, which is, of course, the most accurate. Welby added that the representations of Jesus were not, however, who we worship, but rather served as a reminder of the universality of God, who became fully human. Addressing calls for monuments with links to the UK's imperialist history and slave trade to be removed, he said statues in Canterbury Cathedral would be put under review. The question of whether they should all be there arises, of course, and we've seen that all over the world, he continued, and we're going to be looking very carefully, putting them in context, and seeing if they all should be there, says Justin Welby. In conclusion, the unveiling of black icons in Russian religious art offers a profound opportunity for reflection and growth. It challenges us to confront the biases and prejudices that have shaped our perceptions of the past and to embrace a more inclusive vision of faith. As we continue to grapple with the implications of this discovery, may we be inspired to seek truth, foster empathy, and celebrate the diversity of human experience. This concludes another installment of our video series. Please leave your feedback in the comments section below. We would be happy to hear from you. We also appreciate your support by encouraging you to hit the like button and to share our work with your friends and family in order to continue spreading the word about our eye-opening black narrative. Finally, please subscribe to receive updates on future interesting videos. Thank you for watching.